There's no way.
It didn't take him long to do what he does best.
Burglary, robbery, kidnapping. He is one of America's most wanted criminals.
It's a puff of smoke. He got away. Evil genius.
Now, cops want this guy. They want him badly.
If they want me, they're sure as hell going to have to catch me.
They're ready to kick the door in, and I do not want to get killed.
My name is Jody Thompson. In 2004, I took a deal and pleaded guilty to a string of armed robberies. I was 23 years old, yet I was looking at least 10 years before they'd even consider releasing me. My first sentence was in a juvenile detention center aged 17, and I've been in trouble the 6 years since. I got in with a bad crowd. My crimes escalated from burglary and stealing from shops to armed robbery. My specialty was robbing the gaming machines in bars in Vegas. It's a lucrative business. I could make anything between 10 and 100 grand in one hit.
Thompson had a very unique style when he pulled these robberies. He was called the gentleman robber. He had a very calm demeanor about himself, and he always apologized to the people that he was robbing.
Calm down right now. Don't put that stuff down. You guys, hands up on top of the table, okay?
I've never hurt anyone in any robbery I've ever done. I've never even yelled. I don't see the point in being violent.
Okay, sit down right there.
People cooperate when you have a gun. You don't need to put any extras on it.
Gun's going away. I'll be right back.
Those bar owners said it was amazing. He could open those machines faster with a pry bar than the people that came in to service the machine using keys.
You might find this hard to believe, but I blew it all on partying. All I did was drink, party, and do drugs. And robberies. I was stuck in my world, living the fast life. I found that money was a means of being accepted and getting attention. They feed off weakness. I don't show any, but it drains the life from you. One day in 2005, I snapped. What might seem a petty incident to you was the last straw for me. I joined the line to make a call. The person I was waiting for had just hung the phone up and was now making another call. He knows that if you want to make another call, you get back in line. I stare at him. This guy needed to learn some respect. I decided it's not worth it. I get in line at another phone. I open my eyes. He was still looking at me.
That's what I thought.
I remember thinking I got years of this ahead of me. I couldn't do it. I needed to get out. I needed to escape. That's what I had to do. I had to escape.
Prior to 2005, there had not been an escape from Northern Nevada Correctional Center for years and years. An inmate would have to go through 2 barriers of fence line. There are towers, surveillance measures in place, perimeter patrols, and of course we have highly trained correctional officers.
I already had some ideas. I knew I'd come up with more after I mentally picked apart the security of the prison. I just needed to be patient and to wait for a safe and sane opportunity. But at the same time, I had to be prepared to take risks. I started running in case I had to make a run for it. I ran at least 4 times a week. I got to the point where I could run for a couple of hours straight. I'd been watching Prison Industries, where they have a metal shop and a plant that makes furniture. If I worked there, I could get a pair of wire cutters, get through the fence, or maybe stow away on a delivery truck. This looked my best chance. I talked to people I knew who worked there. I didn't much like the answers. It's hard to get a job. You needed to know someone. I knew I had to go before a board where they would look at my record and assess if I could be trusted.
That's going to help you get a better job.
I had escaped from custody as a 17-year-old by hiding on a milk truck. Because of this, I was nervous, convinced that they'd turn me down.
Before a full committee, Thompson was very articulate, very manipulative, very watchful, keen.
I will be on time every day. I will do my job to its fullest. A lot of prisoners want this. I went to work on them with all I had. I explained how desperate I was to better myself and to make my long sentence go faster.
And I wanted to pass as quickly as possible.
I believe that he came in with a plan in mind, and he was going to do whatever he had to do to reach his goal.
There's enough that I deserve it.
I got it. They gave me the job of porter in the metal shop. The head man said I'd quickly get promoted, but I wasn't planning to be around for that. The delivery trucks came at 8 a.m. to collect furniture made at the prison, and I made sure I was there to load. The driver gets used to having me around. I realized that if he's out of the way and no one's looking, I could hide in the back of this truck. It was high risk, but hiding in the truck seemed my best chance of escaping. I spied a locked toolbox. If I could break in, then I'd have the tools in there, screwdrivers, pliers, wire grips, to break out of the truck. I had to be careful not to be seen examining these things. Any suspicion and bang, I'm in solitary. As the driver closed the door, I made a mental picture of the truck. The rear cargo section of the truck has 2 doors. A side panel door towards the front end, and a rear sliding door fixed shut by an exterior handle. I'm thinking, to break out of the truck, I'd need to cut out a hole in the rear door near the handle. Put my arm through, turn the handle, and lift the rear door. I had to keep my plan a secret. What I needed most was a cell phone to arrange things like who was going to come and pick me up once I'd escaped, and where would I stay. I put the word out in the canteen that I was willing to pay well for a cell phone, and I waited for something to come through. In the end, the cell phone came from a more surprising source. I started flirting with a female employee at the prison. We got really close. In the end, she smuggled one in for me. I can't tell you anymore. I have a code that I live by, and she's suffered enough. For weeks, I watched the trucks get searched as they left the prison. I noticed they always opened the rear door, but hardly ever the side panel door. I figured that the best place to hide myself would be near this side panel door, right at the front of the cargo section. At 8 a.m., the delivery truck arrived. We began to load the furniture. made sure I got in the truck first so that I could stack and pack. The first desk was loaded. The invoice said the furniture is going to Lovelock, which is 90 minutes away. This gave me plenty of time to break out of the truck before the first delivery. I pushed the desk, not all the way to the front. I left just enough space for me to squeeze in under it. This was the day. I felt it. I believed it. I have a space ready for me to squeeze into. When the truck was packed, the driver said he had to go talk to someone. We decided to leave together.
I'm back to the shop. Okay.
All right, Jody, take it easy, man.
I walked towards the metal shop while the others walked towards the offices. My senses are hypersensitive, especially my hearing. Should I? Shouldn't I? I want to make my move now because no one is around, but at the same time, all it would take is for the driver to hear me or see me, and I'm screwed. I heard someone walking. It was the driver. This could be it. I hustled to the door, peeking out. Normally, he drives over to the gate with the door open. I needed him to leave it open. He raised the liftgate in the upright position. Yes, he's not going to close the door. This was it. There were people walking with their backs to me, but there was an inmate facing me. There was a tower with a guard. There was a chance he might see me. I heard the driver open and shut his door. The truck's engine started. The inmate who was walking in my direction is busy talking to someone. I knew this was the moment. It was now or never. It won't get any better than this. So I went for it. There was a blend of fear, joy, and disbelief, like, I can't believe this is happening. If the guard follows his routine and only looks in the back door, I should be okay. If he opens the side panel door, I'm screwed. He was opening the hood of the engine compartment.
Looks good. Shut her down.
I heard the engine compartment hood being closed. I heard footsteps around the truck. Is he gonna open the side panel door?
You want to open the door for me, please?
He never opens the side panel door. The door was being rattled. It opened. I could see the officer's face. He's 5 feet away from me. I almost expected him to say, "Come on out, Mr. Thompson." Part of me screamed internally, if I can see him, he can see me. My only hope was that it was dark in there, and that the blanket draped over the desk was shielding me. I heard him ask the driver.
Were you watching when it was loaded?
Oh, yeah.
I held my breath. Finally, he says,
All right, looks good.
he shuts the door. I heard the automatic gates open. The driver drove through. Oh my God. I'm out. I felt the truck turning. We should be in front of the prison. Okay, we should be on the road now. The truck speeds up. Yep, we're on the road. Yes. I still have to break out of the truck. I'm thinking, do I make my move now or wait? I let 10 minutes pass, then I came out of my hiding place. The lockbox that contained the tools was right in front of me. I set about breaking it open. Picturing the outside of the door, I picked a spot to begin gouging out a hole. I had two fears: that the driver will hear me, or that a motorist will spot me. After the hole was big enough, I checked. There were no vehicles close. I needed to get this door open quick while it's quiet. The hole was too small, but I had to get this done. I pushed my arm further. The latch must be right there. I felt the latch with my fingertips. I was free at that moment. I wasn't in prison, and I wasn't locked in a box. I was free. The truck slowed and pulled up. We were at a gas station. I peeked out and watched the driver walk in. I decided this was my moment. I needed to get away from the busy road, hide out in the desert and call a friend to pick me up. I saw a dirt road, but I had to walk past the store to get to it. I had the cell phone with me. I hid out in the desert and called a friend to pick me up. I knew headed.
I got a call from the other supervisor, and he said, "Hey, Pam, they think that there's an escape." And I'm like, "No way. There's no way."
Jody Thompson broke out of prison.
A bold escape from prison, a major headache for cops.
The driver of the truck got to his final destination in Lovelock, Nevada. They discovered a hole in the back which was not there when it left Northern Nevada Correctional Center.
Make no mistake, he is dangerous. Now, cops want this guy. They want him badly.
I was really mad I was really, really mad because somebody out there might get hurt looking for this jerk. I made contact with the U.S. Marshal's office. I believed, based upon information found in his cell, he could be going to Mexico. He could be crossing the state lines.
I knew that wasn't true because Las Vegas is the only place for him. There's no other place in the world that has these type of bars 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so he could pull his robberies at any time. His friends are here, you know, everyone that's going to support him. And the lifestyle that they lead, selling the drugs, robbing the bars, running the prostitutes, there's no other city that he would possibly go to.
Seeing Vegas again is a bit surreal.
At the time of the Thompson investigation, I was Deputy United States Marshal assigned to the Las Vegas office. I've been doing these types of investigations for a number of years. So the first few days, we kept investigating all his associates. When someone goes on the run, they don't have money, they don't have the place to stay. They're gonna have to go to people that they know and they trust. People who would hide him, people who would give him money, people who would provide him with drugs, a firearm, things that he needed. Because all of Thompson's friends and associates were criminals. People that deal in drugs, deal in prostitution, pull armed robberies. And then we knew that eventually he was going to run out of places to hide, and we would have him.
My plan was to rob a bar. That'd give me enough money to buy a car and get to Mexico.
Guy came in with a helmet, backpack, gloves, which was nothing unusual for me to see because there's a lot of bikers that come in this bar. He goes, well, I'm just here to eat breakfast. And I turned around to grab the menu. When I turned back around, there was the gun.
All right, look, just calm down. Put your hands up.
He had kind of scary eyes. It's something I won't forget. I see those eyes. I will never forget them. And he said,
Don't piss me off, and I won't hurt you, and I won't come back to hurt you.
He made me hold my hands up in the air, come around the bar, and he made me sit down at the table.
Calm down. Okay, who else is here?
And I was pretty good at that point, till I realized that Connie was back there, and Connie had previously had a heart attack. And she was kind of like my second mom.
Do you want me to put the gun away?
At that point, I started crying because I didn't want anything to happen to her in front of me. You know, that would have just devastated me.
Gun away right now, okay? Okay, it's gonna be okay.
She came out of the bathroom.
Money and
He turned around and he looked at us and he said he didn't like doing this. He just had to. He knew exactly what to do. He broke open every machine we had and took the money out. It was amazing. It was simply amazing.
The call came saying that Thompson had robbed the Blue Diamond. We looked at the videotape, and indeed it was Jody Thompson. It almost gives you a sense of panic when you see someone doing an armed robbery, when you see someone with a gun pointing it at someone else, and you know what can happen. It fills you with a sense of dread. But we developed information that led us to a house in northwest Las Vegas, street Velvet Rose, that we believed that Thompson was staying in with a woman by the name of Jillian.
Baby, what's all of this?
My plan was to get Jillian to drive me to some car lots where I'd steal a plate, then steal a car.
Just sort it into little piles.
I had a little over $10,000, enough to travel. I was ready to go.
The plan was we'd keep the house under surveillance until we got the search warrant, and we would seal it off until SWAT got there and actually go in after Thompson. We were hopeful that Thompson was in the residence. We didn't have any conclusive proof.
Hello?
We developed solid information that Thompson was in the house.
The line went dead. I had a bad feeling. My intuition told me It was the police.
And the garage door opens and a SUV comes out, and it's occupied by a female, and she's by herself. And we're assuming that this is the woman, Jillian. At that point, I thought that this was a good break in the investigation, because now I believe that Thompson was in that house by himself, and we didn't have to worry about a hostage situation. SWAT could go straight in the house without worrying about harm to bystanders. I followed in my vehicle and called for Las Vegas Metro to send marked units. As I was pulling around the vehicle, Thompson popped up between the seats, and he pushed Jillian out onto the street and got behind the wheel and took off.
I got the jump on the police. All I felt was survive, go, go, go.
We came to the intersection and the light was red. A rather large pickup truck was coming through the intersection. I saw it coming. I actually cringed. I knew it was going to happen.
The moment of impact. That seemed to happen in slow motion. I had to stay conscious no matter what. I grabbed my backpack with tools and money, and I ran.
When I pulled around, Thompson was just getting out of the vehicle. I drew my weapon and ordered him to stop.
Stop!
When you point a gun at someone, it's a frightful thing. Sometimes their eyes cross, looking at the barrel of your gun. Sometimes they twitch. They have many different things, and it's usually associated with fear. And Thompson looked at me and didn't exhibit any of those things. He didn't blink an eye. I had to make the decision whether I was going to shoot him. If Thompson would have pointed a gun at me, I possibly would have shot at him. Figured we'd set up the perimeter. We would get him at that time. I set up hundreds of perimeters in my law enforcement career. I had never had someone escape from a perimeter that I set up. And I was extremely confident that we had Thompson.
Yes, give me 3 if you can. I want 3 cruisers at Oxford and Adelaide now. I need as many as we can.
I heard sirens from all different directions. I had to find a hiding place. My desire to survive was like some primitive response. It was as if I myself was detached. It's almost as if I had no control and was just along for the ride. I had no intentions of giving up. I was committed to not going back to prison. I didn't think about the consequences. My focus was freedom. If they wanted me, they sure as hell were gonna have to catch me. From the sound of it, they already have a perimeter set up around the block.
Don't move! Where are your car keys? Put the phone down! Hang the phone up now! Hang the phone up now!
I knew she'd called 911. I knew this meant trouble. It was only a matter of time before dispatch put 2 and 2 together.
Where are your car keys?
The keys are behind you.
Where's the car?
It's in the garage. The door's down the hall. Just take the car and go.
I knew it was 911. what do I do?
Hello?
Hello, this is Metro 911. What's going on there?
Oh, we just had a domestic.
Tell your wife to shut up!
I felt emotion at that point. For a moment, I felt broken. But then it was go. Get out of here.
Take me to the garage.
I got in their car. I told them to shut the garage door after me. Cops had blocked the road. I told myself to be cool. They don't know I've got a car yet. They think I'm on foot. My biggest fear is that they would recognize me and open fire. One officer looked directly at me. And waved me through. Thank you. They thought I was hiding in a backyard or something. By the time the couple dialed 911, I was long gone.
Metro officers came over and, told us about what Thompson had done, that he was gone. Physically sick to your stomach. I mean, you feel physically ill when something like that happens. All you can do is blame yourself that you did the wrong thing. You take it hard and you take it personal.
I could have left town, so what made me stay in Vegas? I met Patricia. She was someone I had no prior connections with, no strings to my former life, and we hit it off.
Well, he told me his name was James when I met him. And he told me that's what people call him, but his real name was Chase Erickson. He was just so sexy. He really was like a very attractive man. So we just hit it off right away.
I went under the radar. I stopped dropping bars. I cut ties with everyone else I knew in Vegas.
Says that he was with you. I don't recall.
He didn't really want me to watch the news at all. That's what was suspicious. Like, he would watch the news, and as soon as I came in the room, he would change the channel. So I always thought he was, like, watching porn or something, but it was just the news.
My face was splashed all over the news stations. I couldn't risk that she'd watch a show and recognize me.
Now, if you have any information, you are urged to call police. Today, they upped the reward for his arrest from $1,000 to $6,000.
We weren't generating any good leads, and this went on for a while, weeks, and we had to take a new approach, and we reached out to America's Most Wanted to profile the case. As soon as the episode airs, the calls start coming in.
Brent.
When we got the tip that led to Thompson, I knew that this caller knew where Thompson was at that precise moment and told him how important I thought it was that we meet in person. Well, the excitement level when someone's telling you good information, you get very excited because all these months, I was saying I just need one good break. I just need one good tip to fall and I'll have them. That's when you realize this is it. This is the tip that you've been waiting for months and months. Don't mess it up. I was confident that this caller knew just what they were talking about, that Thompson was at that location at that moment. I have a Marshal Service radio and a Metro Police radio, so I'm listening to all the communications going between the robbery units and the SWAT units. The excitement level's getting up. We were confident that he wasn't getting out of this perimeter. We learned our lesson from the last time. The plan was to get him in that residence, if possible. If not, get him and contain him within that perimeter.
When she called me.
Yeah, hello?
She told me she had 3 Metro police cars boxing her in. I peeked out the windows. My only option was getting away from the apartment. I walked like nothing was wrong until I got to the side of the building. Then I ran.
And it was called out on the radio by one of the robbery detectives that had line of sight that Thompson came out of the residence and took off. It appeared that he was fleeing, that he was running. To say I was agitated may be a little of an understatement. I've been working on this case for months.
What?
I probably wasn't pleasant to be standing next to. His particular ability to evade us was starting to get working on my last good nerve.
Right away.
I jumped into someone's yard. I could still hear the cars racing up and down the streets. An older man came out of the house. He walked to the corner of the yard.
Okay, don't move, okay? I'm not gonna hurt anybody. You stay right there, okay? You sit down, okay? Everything's gonna be okay. Okay, come. You're sitting right there. Sit down right now. You keep your hands up on the table, okay?
I told them I didn't want anything but a place to wait out. I could see them walking on the street in front of the house. I could hear the chopper up above.
When you have the helicopters up, when you have the canines out, when you have SWAT there, it doesn't leave them a lot of options. If you corner a rat, does he fight? Most of the time. So you have to take in that possibility that he's going to fight, that he's not going to be taken alive.
There was a knock on the door.
Okay, you go to the door. Okay, you tell.
I told him to go to the door and tell him that he was sleeping. I said to him, I'm not going to hurt your wife. I'm a nice guy.
You're gonna be fine.
Please just help me out.
Okay. Please just don't leave me, okay?
I told the woman to go ahead, get comfortable. I hid in the closet. I knew my only chance was to hide, allow the police to do a walkthrough, and these people don't say anything. It was a lot to ask for, but it's all I had. The woman was starting to get up out of the bed. I could have grabbed her in time before she got to the door, but I didn't. It was over.
I remember listening to the SWAT radio when the couple came out of their house. The owners of the house said, the guy you're looking for is in there. At that moment, as soon as I heard that, I knew it was over. It was just how it was going to be over. But I knew it was over. There was no possibility that he could escape. No one was getting through a SWAT perimeter.
I got out of the closet. I crawled on the floor to the kitchen and peeked out the window. I thought, is there anything I can do? There wasn't, and I knew it. Any course of action would have been a death wish, and I didn't want to die. My concern at that point was being alive to get away another day. I knew all it would take is one hyped-up officer to yell gun, and I'd be through. If they came in forcibly to get me, I was dead.
And Thompson surprised me yet again. I mean, yet again. I just could have never guessed what he was going to do inside that house.
The most powerful image in my mind was my bullet-ridden body. I envisioned them storming the house and shooting me. I knew they'd kill me if they rushed in here.
He actually called 911 on the house phone and left the line open, which means everything that goes on in the house is being recorded on this open line. So if the SWAT comes in there and he says, "I surrender," they're being recorded, and the SWAT team knows they're being recorded.
Can you please tell the cops that I'm laying down, I'm head first in the kitchen, hands on my head.
You're laying down head first in the kitchen?
My name's Jody Thompson. They know where I'm at.
What address are you at?
I don't know. They just.
You're laying down head first on the kitchen.
As soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm gonna lay down in the living room or wherever they want me to lay down. I'll come out the front door, whatever.
Okay, sir, I don't show an officer at this address. What's going on out there?
They're looking for me like they got 2 helicopters out, every cop in Vegas.
And what address are you calling from?
Whatever one this one is.
And why are they looking for you, Mr. Thompson?
I was just on America's Most Wanted.
For what?
I escaped from prison.
He wanted to live through this capture, so he done something to protect himself to make sure he survived.
Can you tell? They're ready to kick the door in, and I do not want to get killed.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground.
It surprised me again how he could calmly think of that. How did he come up with dialing 911 and laying the phone down? Amazing.
You got someone in handcuffs.
His ability to think so quickly on his feet, his calmness during every scenario, his ability to think things out and remain calm. I'd never encountered that before. But it's one against many. We're gonna prevail. We're gonna catch you. We're gonna track you down. We're not gonna stop looking. We have all the resources in the world at our disposal. You can't run forever. And he knew that. And he knew eventually he was gonna get captured, and he did.
I fell in love with Jody, and I still have love for Jody because, you know, for that time that we spent together, he was very respectful to me.
Jody Thompson told Patricia he loved her, and she responded, causing the bailiff to escort her and her friend out of the courtroom.
No matter what I hear from the media or anybody else, my feelings won't change towards him.
Mr. Thompson is a flight risk, he is a threat to our society, and he's going to be held without bail.
There was a mix of sadness, dread, and relief. As much as I was sad and dreading being locked up again, there was relief at the ordeal being over. I still have hope, though. I still feel I could get away again. I'm still not ready to give up.